Sorry, back. Ma'am?
What do you think about a high-speed rail line between here and Phoenix? I'm against it, but you know.
You know, well, you're gonna have to tell me who's paying for it.
I suspect I would be.
No. No taxpayer-funded railways and things of that nature. If you want to have it, if it's something that can turn a profit, and they say these things, well, it can make a profit. Well, if it make a profit, then let a private company do it. If it can make a profit, then a private company will do it, and then it'll operate much better than the government could run it.
Yeah.
So if a high-speed railway works, fine, let a private company do it.
We were just in Santa Fe and saw the, what was it, 400 million?
Yes, ma'am.
Roadrunner, whatever rail, that only has five
I think it's
cars.
Amtrak, don't quote me on this, but I think it's Amtrak, you know, owned by the government now. I think it's $1 billion in the red every year we
I'm sure
subsidize
is,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, if there's money to be made there, let the private sector do it.
Yeah.
And I'm all fine with easing the trip to Phoenix. Lord knows I go up there enough and I'm tired of getting stuck behind the semis in the left lane. But just because there's no government option doesn't mean there's no option. Anyone else? Sir?
You know, there's a underlying a lot of the things that we say. There's this lack of integrity, and I think a lot about we've lost some moral fiber in our country, and I'm just wondering how do we regain that? I know that there are a lot of groups working, particularly religious groups and so on, trying to get more and more people to look within in terms of their morality and all. Is there something that should be done at your level in the Congress to take a close look at this?
No, because there's no one who in this Congress do you want to judge your morality? That's the problem that needs to be taken care of in the churches and the synagogues. We need to embrace religious liberty in this country, but I don't trust the government to get involved in that, quite frankly. And I'm a Christian man, but the government needs to stay out of it because they don't. If you're right about that losing our moral fiber, then there's no government, no government plan, no government policy that's going to help us. That's something we got to get right inside. So, you know, there's a savior out there. I'm not it. And neither is anyone in that government. I just want them to stay away. Just get out and stay away. Maybe.
However, I have something to say about that.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
believe that when you get there, and you will, that the moral fiber is shown by the people we elect.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you stand firm on the things that you believe and the things that you say that you will work on, and the people that surround you also have moral fiber, then you will be voting, and the congregation, so to speak, is going to hear you and believe in you and stand with you because they also believe in moral fiber in this country.
Yes, ma'am. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. I want moral, strong people in government. There's no question about that. That's what we need. It doesn't do us any good to send anything other than that. I believe that wholeheartedly. But as far as, you know, changing the moral fabric of the nation, and you know, maybe we're wrong about that we're losing our way. I mean, it's human nature to be flawed. If we're going to get philosophical about it, it is. I mean, I talk about this all the time. You know, Moses was probably complaining about how terrible the next generation was. You know, it's human nature. But if we are, the government's not the answer. But moral people in government is a great place to start. Yeah.
I have concerns about the infrastructure and why, for example, the electric grid, which is just paramount to our society. Do you know there's a 2-year waiting period to get a transformer and they're manufactured in China?
Yes, ma'am.
Why? What would you do
Because
about
everything's
this?
manufactured in China now.
Yeah.
Well,
Because we let the Sierra Club run our government. Because it doesn't pay to do manufacturing here. Yeah, we chase them all away. Why? What the? Go ahead, start a steel mill and see what you have to go through for environmental regulations and taxation and the government favoring one industry over another. You know, we talk about big oil. They use that term all the time. Big oil. Everything's big that they want you to hate. Big business, big oil. Do you know who profits the most off the oil companies? The government. We completely punish one energy sector and we completely subsidize others. The solar industry exists completely on government subsidies right now, which is hampering its technological growth. It's supposed to help it. It does not help a private industry to sustain it where it is. It helps them to force them to advance. And we've done that in our manufacturing sector. We chase them out. And again, it's what we talked about earlier. China welcomes you right now. China says, come put up your steel plant and employ people here. We welcome it. We don't. We don't. We have a president who flies in a private pizza chef from the Midwest and then complains about someone else's carbon footprint. We have Al Gore jetting all over the world in a private jet telling me to put in fluorescent light bulbs. It's the whole world's upside down right now, it seems like.
But on the other hand, I went to, in good conscience, I went to a seminar on solar energy, and I was shocked to find out that really it's TEP who's running the game. Did you know that the size of the solar panels is not determined by the square footage of your home, but by your past electric bill? They do not want you to sell back to them. I was just absolutely floored. So this is a game. And what would you do about that? I thought we were supposed to reduce energy, not consumption.
Well, I actually don't believe in reducing energy consumption. I believe that is it's standard liberalism of we have an energy shortage, so don't get more energy, just use less energy. Right? No, we have more energy available. We can access it right now. We need to access it. It's along the same lines of they passed tax cuts that weren't paid for. What? It's never your spending programs that weren't paid for. It's you haven't stolen enough of my money. It's that mindset of you just should use less. It's the Jimmy Carter put on a sweater energy policy. That doesn't work. And we're going the wrong way. We're going, you know, I think that in the future, solar and wind and these other things that are there, I think it is the wave of the future. I do. But I think we pay, the consumer pays right now to try to falsely prop up any industry, anyone. I don't want the government involved in anyone. I want them to step back and may the private sector determine which energy sector comes forward. I want to pay less for my electric bill, and I want you to do the same. That's what I care about. I don't care, I don't want to hear that me putting in a normal light bulb is ruining the polar bears, because the science says otherwise right now. So that's what I believe. And we hear about these solar fields in Germany that aren't producing enough power, so they supplement them with diesel generators. I mean, there's no end to it right now. I believe there is a way with the future there, but I believe we're holding back that technology by subsidizing them with our tax dollars. And also, let's talk about it if we want to drill into this solar stuff. You know it's too hot here that solar panels burn out?
Yeah.
We think because it's Tucson and it's 9,000 degrees here in the summertime that we can put up a solar panel and fly to the moon. That's not the case.
It's 80
They burn out. That's right.
And then you have to test them too.
That's right. And the technology right now, to power the state of Arizona, you have to cover the state of California in solar panels. It's just not there yet. We'll get there. It's just not there yet. And I don't want to, in the meantime, pay $200 a month for my energy bill while you're trying to get there.
Right.
Sell me cheap power and cheap gas because we're trying to make our way in this world and we're broke. There, I went out there.
It goes back to the ignorance thing, doesn't it? I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
if there's good information out there and people know about it, then you ferret out what the truth is.
Well, it's one of those things that Gifford's really trying us to sell. It's solar this, solar that, and it's because it's so sunny down here. And if you don't want to take the time to look into it, you can be duped into that. Well, yeah, sure. Slap a solar panel on my car, I'm sure it'll run fine. That kind of thing. So, like you said, information, awareness, being engaged, is everything right now. Everything right now. My sister Mickey's here, by the way. Sir?
Jesse, when you get back to Washington, I think the biggest thing you've got to do is blow the dust off the Constitution. Let's get back to the rules and regulations that we've known for 250 years work. I think that's one of your biggest jobs you're going to have.
You know, it's one of my favorite parts of the bullet points of the Pledge to America that I just read was the constitutionality of the bill. I want you to tell me specific how this bill is constitutional. I mean, of all